Welcome back, daytime drama aficionados, to another gorgeous day full of high-fashion scandals, shattered romances, and dangerous secrets. We are thrilled to bring you the most explosive updates from our favorite Los Angeles families. Let us dive right into the heart-stopping action. The Bold and the Beautiful has just released a jaw-dropping promotional video for the highly anticipated week of August 17th, 2026. And the landscape of Los Angeles is about to be irrevocably altered. The footage teases that two beloved characters are on the precipice of a brand new, highly scandalous relationship. The burning question on the minds of every viewer is whether this shocking new dynamic will be defined by unbridled passion, cold-blooded murder, or perhaps a terrifying combination of both. Meanwhile, the younger generation is completely spiraling out of control as egos inflate and hearts break. Electra Forrester is currently exhibiting a superiority complex that is rapidly crossing the line into outright tyranny, abusing her power within the walls of Forrester Creations. Simultaneously, Katie Logan Spencer is launching a desperate maternal rescue mission to save Will Spencer from his own destructive tendencies. The drama is reaching a boiling point, and the consequences will be devastating for everyone involved. Let us begin this deep dive with the heartbreaking and tense opening sequence of the weekly preview, which centers on a fierce confrontation between a mother and her spiraling son. Katie Logan Spencer arrives at the beach house to face the wreckage of Will Spencer's life. Will is completely broken, drowning in a sea of depression and alcohol following the catastrophic end of his relationship with Electra Forrester. The young Spencer heir is howling at the moon, consumed by the belief that his life is over because he lost the woman he loves. However, from an objective standpoint, Electra has absolutely no reason to play the victim in this scenario. She was the one who made the definitive choice to end the relationship, throw her necklace at him, and walk out the door. Following her departure, Will is technically a single man, free to do whatever he wants with whomever he chooses. Yet, his actions have only plunged him deeper into a nightmare of his own making. As Will stubbornly insists to his mother that he is still madly in love with Electra and cannot live without her, Katie pierces through his delusions with a question that hits with the force of a freight train. Katie demands to know why, if he loves Electra so deeply and profoundly, his immediate reaction to their breakup was to sleep with her best friend, Melissa Dillon. It is a brilliant, cutting question that exposes the massive contradiction in Will's behavior. The audience is left wondering how Will could possibly justify this massive betrayal to his mother. Will has spent weeks blaming the corporate war between Logan and Forrester, blaming R.J. Forrester's instigation, and blaming Eric Forrester's interference for the demise of his relationship. But sleeping with Melissa Dillon was a choice he made entirely on his own, a choice driven by vulnerability, alcohol, and a desperate need for comfort. Katie's intervention is not born of judgment, but of a desperate maternal need to save her son from the notorious Spencer curse of self-destruction. She recognizes that Will is trapped in a cycle of impulsive violence and terrible decision-making. If Will continues down this path, he will not only permanently lose Electra, but he will also destroy his own future and potentially the reputation of Logan Creations. Katie is determined to help her son think clearly and rationally. She knows that the current situation is incredibly difficult, heavily burdened by the bitter feud between their families. However, Katie believes that if Will can learn to behave wisely, control his explosive temper, and stop acting on pure, reckless impulse, he might actually have a chance to win Electra back. That is, of course, assuming Electra is truly the kind of woman Will should be fighting for. This brings us to the deeply troubling evolution of Electra Forrester. While it is easy to sympathize with Electra's initial shock over Will's corporate secrets and his violent outburst at the bikini bar, her subsequent behavior has completely eradicated any goodwill she might have garnered. Electra's ego is currently expanding at an alarming rate, ballooning out of control as she fully embraces the toxic entitlement that often accompanies the Forrester name. She is no longer the heartbroken girlfriend. She is transforming into a demanding, unreasonable dictator. Her constant ultimatums and demands for absolute loyalty are becoming suffocating. Frankly, Electra is beginning to heavily mirror the worst traits of her aunt, Steffy Forrester Finnegan, and her cousin, Thomas Forrester. Her possessive nature and her belief that she is the ultimate moral authority in every situation are making her incredibly difficult to root for. The weekly promo highlights this disturbing personality shift during a fiery confrontation at Forrester Creations. Elektra corners Melissa Dillon in the office, deciding to assert her dominance in the most arrogant way possible. Elektra aggressively reminds Dillon of her status, acting as if she is royalty addressing a peasant. With venom in her voice, Elektra declares, "I am Elektra Forrester. If I want to, you can disappear." It is a shocking display of nepotism and cruelty. Elektra is weaponizing her family's legacy to threaten a subordinate over a personal romantic dispute. The sheer audacity of her statement is breathtaking, proving that the Forrester superiority complex has fully infected her mind. It is a moment that makes the audience want to scream at the screen, urging Elektra to stop making empty, narcissistic threats and actually face the reality of her own choices. However, Elektra's tyrannical behavior might actually play right into Melissa Dillon's calculated hands. Dillon is no longer just the sweet, supportive best friend. She has evolved into a highly strategic player who knows exactly what she wants. If Elektra lacks the actual authority or the nerve to fire her, Dillon will remain a constant, agonizing presence at Forrester Creations. Dillon will be able to silently taunt Elektra every single day, a walking reminder of the intimate night she shared with Will Spencer. Conversely, if Elektra does manage to get Dillon fired, it will completely backfire on her reputation. Firing Dillon over a personal grudge will make Elektra look like a bitter, jealous, and profoundly insecure ex-girlfriend who cannot separate her professional responsibilities from her romantic failures. Either way, Elektra has backed herself into a corner, and Dillon holds a surprising amount of psychological power in this twisted dynamic. While the younger generation battles over bruised egos and broken hearts, a far more dangerous and consequential storyline is unfolding in the executive suites of Forrester Creations. The promotional video concludes with a dark, moody scene featuring Steffy Forrester Finnegan and Carter Walton in the CEO office. Both characters are currently enduring unimaginable personal agony, their respective marriages collapsing under the weight of trauma and tragic medical news. Steffy has just fled Monaco in a state of absolute panic and heartbreak, having discovered that her husband, John Finnegan, betrayed her by hiding Sheila Carter's presence on his commercial flight. The psychological toll of Sheila's relentless stalking has pushed Steffy's PTSD to its absolute limit. She is exhausted, terrified, and utterly furious. In the dim light of the CEO office, surrounded by the amber glow of poured bourbon, Steffy pours her heart out to Carter. She tearfully laments her agonizing reality, expressing a desperate, overwhelming desire to be permanently free of Sheila Carter. Steffy feels like a prisoner in her own life, constantly looking over her shoulder, waiting for the psychotic villain to strike again. She cannot understand why Finn continues to show any leniency toward the woman who shot them and left them for dead in an alleyway. Steffy's pain is palpable, her vulnerability laid bare before a man who has always been one of her most loyal and steadfast friends. But Carter is not just a friend right now. He is a man whose own world has just been entirely shattered. Carter Walton is drowning in an ocean of grief. The love of his life, Daphne Rose Walton, has just abandoned him and fled to Paris following her devastating diagnosis of early menopause and severe infertility. Daphne's functional depression convinced her that she was holding Carter back from his lifelong dream of having a biological family, leading her to make the agonizing decision to end their marriage to set him free. Carter is left behind, his heart ripped from his chest, feeling completely powerless and abandoned. Carter has always suffered from a profound rescuer complex. He is a man who desperately wants to fix the broken women in his life, to provide stability, safety, and unwavering devotion. Right now, there is no woman more broken, more in need of a fierce protector than Steffy Forrester Finnegan. This volatile combination of shared grief, intense vulnerability, and heavy alcohol consumption creates a terrifyingly dangerous atmosphere. As Steffy begs the universe for a way to be rid of Sheila Carter, the audience is forced to wonder just how far Carter Walton will go to save the woman crying in front of him. Knowing his innate need to rescue those in distress, could Carter be contemplating the ultimate, unforgivable crime? Is it possible that Carter will take it upon himself to murder Sheila Carter, permanently eliminating the threat to Steffy's sanity and safety? Carter might convince himself that by killing Sheila, he is performing a heroic act, saving Steffy's family and ridding the world of a monster. However, taking a life would plunge the Honorable Soo down a dark, irredeemable path, bringing severe and unpredictable consequences that would ripple through the entire canvas. Of course, there is another, perhaps even more immediate danger lurking in that dimly lit office. The intense emotional connection between Steffy and Carter, fueled by their mutual devastation and the intoxicating effects of the alcohol, is rapidly shifting from platonic comfort to undeniable, burning passion. The promotional spoilers have heavily teased that the clothes will indeed start coming off before the night is over. Steffy and Carter are both desperately seeking an escape from their agonizing realities. They do not want to feel the crushing pain of Finn's betrayal or Daphne's abandonment. They want to replace that agony with something else, anything else, even if it is just a fleeting moment of physical connection. The chemistry between them, built on years of deep friendship and mutual respect, is about to ignite into a scandalous, explosive affair. If Steffy and Carter cross this ultimate line, they will be making a colossal, life-altering mistake. A passionate encounter on the Forrester CEO desk will forever compromise their integrity and their respective marriages. What happens when Finn inevitably returns to Los Angeles, begging for forgiveness and promising to banish Sheila forever? Steffy will be forced to look her husband in the eye, knowing she has committed the ultimate betrayal. And what happens if Daphne realizes her mistake and returns from Paris, ready to fight for her marriage? Carter will be consumed by guilt, knowing he sought comfort in the arms of another woman the moment his wife walked out the door. The psychological weight of this secret will be unbearable for both of them, forcing them into a desperate pact of silence that will slowly eat away at their souls. Furthermore, the physical consequences of this affair could be earth-shattering. In the unpredictable world of daytime drama, a single night of unprotected passion often leads to a shocking pregnancy. Could Steffy find herself carrying Carter Walton's child, creating a paternity nightmare that would completely destroy the Finnegan family and forever tie her to the Forrester COO? The potential fallout is staggering, promising months of high-stakes drama, tearful confessions, and explosive confrontations. The week of August 17th is setting the stage for a narrative earthquake, one that will leave no character unscathed. From Katie's desperate attempts to save her son, to Elektra's tyrannical power trips, to the dark and passionate descent of Steffy and Carter, The Bold and the Beautiful is delivering a masterclass in psychological tension and romantic devastation. Viewers must brace themselves, because the impending chaos is going to be absolutely unforgettable.